Well, hey there, folks.
It's Barry's Best Honey,
I'm Mike.
and I got a second camera.
Welcome back to Southeast Louisiana. Well, that's right, folks. It's Mike down here in Southeast Louisiana, and I'm back for another video feeding my winter bees. You see my second camera there? Any of you guys that caught that live stream from the Hive Life from Lee at Kodiak Farms, he's right down the road. He's about an hour away. Well, maybe 45 minutes away. Now, if you twist and turn down through the bayou, maybe an hour. Nonetheless, he surprised me with a GoPro 4, Hero 4. Now, it's not as old as this 3 Plus, and I started with a 3 and it got crushed in the road. This 3 Plus came from Mr. Ed. When he found out my Hero 3 got crushed, he gave me this one. It's a Hero Plus 3 Silver. To be honest with you, the 3 Plus has less features than the 3 had, but it has served me well. It puts out nice video with the right card. So my 4 that Lee was so kind to give me and surprise me with, y'all need to watch the video. Hopefully I can find it and link it up in the top corner, but he basically called me over when I was walking through. I didn't even glance over. I was looking ahead. I was heading out to see my wife, and they called me over and they had this live stream going. He's like, what kind of camera you use, and what did he say? I'd have to look back at it. Was basically, what would it take for you to move up to a 4? And I was like, for somebody to give me one, because I'm thinking in my head, I'm not going to buy one. Mine's working fine for the most part. But it's limited on my live streams and things like that. And he said, that's what I wanted to hear. And he gave me a 4. And it's a great little camera. It's got the screen. I have a screen for the back of this one, but with my case I got, it won't fit. So anyway, why am I still using my 3 Plus right now? Well, first of all, this is going to be a chance to get different angles of shots for me. And second, I haven't got a microphone rigged up for it. And the older Heroes inside the waterproof cases, you can't hear. That's why I have a microphone and a skeleton case where I can plug in, because I don't need it to go deep in the water or be rainproof, because I don't work out in the rain. So, and when I do, I can protect, this case will protect it enough. So I need to get my skeleton case. It should be coming in soon, and a microphone for it, so that I can make sure I'm getting decent audio and things like that. So, but I use it for live streams. I'm going to use it for second angles. I'm pretty excited about it, and I don't need a bunch of production stuff, but to have a second camera is sure going to save me a little bit of camera work, because I tell you, you get to moving cameras and everything when you got just one, and it gets to be a little bit of work. Hopefully I'll be able to get some different shots. Maybe not today, because hopefully it's going to be a very short video about feeding my winter bees. So I did actually switch cameras, because I forgot this camera, the 4, has a low light setting. The 3 Plus doesn't. The 3 Silver does. I had one, but when mine got crushed back on my first season of YouTubing, the low light thing went away. So this one works better. It is overcast. It's in the mid 50s. It's kind of breezy, but the breeze is just now laid down, so I don't know how they're going to be out there, but we're going to do this, and I'm going to show you just how quick you can throw this type of feed on. So now it is the 20th of January, and all I'm doing today, because I want to get it on here just to get it out of the way, is putting some feed on my 1 single and 2 nukes. But I'm gonna tell you, they still have a lot of weight to them, but we're getting to the point where they're brooding up. We had a whole week of warm temps, actually 2 weeks of warm temps, but we're getting cold again, but then we're gonna warm back up, and it does that here very regularly. And what that does to us is causes them to go out and forage, find very little, and burn a lot of stores. So they can go through it pretty quick as they begin to brood up, especially February into March is very dangerous for starvation down here in our neck of the woods. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on some feed. What kind of feed are you using, you might be asking? The stuff I used last year, which I talked a lot about and I talked very good about, Hive Life Fondant. I was so excited when I seen fondant come to the US. It's got a couple years of a shelf life for it. It's easy to apply. It is already inverted sugar. It's ready for them to consume. And the bonus, and look, I did buy this at first just because it was fondant. I'd watched Europeans using fondant way back, years and years ago, back to skep beekeeping, they used fondant. And making true fondant, like baker's fondant, is hard to do without getting that harmful, what is it, HFM or whatever that is, when you cook it too hot. And so it's not like a sugar board where they have to process the sugar and all that. It's a ready to consume product, and all of a sudden it came to the US last year, and I jumped on it for the purposes of the fondant. But what's in it is the bonus. The biggest thing I see with it that I want is the thymol. But anyway, it says no high fructose, and I'm not being sponsored by these guys at all, but I do support them. No high fructose corn syrup. It's all natural. It's got seaweed in it. It's got all your vitamins and minerals and all kinds of good stuff. But thymol was really what I'm looking for with it. Oh, well, then I dropped it. But anyway, I'm really pleased with it. It's got a decent consumption rate. They don't go through it as fast as I would have thought they did last year. Bigger colonies, of course, go through faster, obviously, but it does really good. Now, before that fondant came, I would use dry sugar in the winter for an emergency feed. And to me, that truly is the only thing dry sugar is for, emergency feed. My opinion is have them heavy going in. Now, most all my colonies are heavy going in, but what I'm gonna do with this year is, right now I'm gonna put these on the ones that could consume it faster and being smaller, just to be sure we have no problems. The single and the 2 nukes. And then what I want to do is another week or two, I want to start putting it on, because I got a lot of it. I want to put it on some of the weaker colonies. And actually today I'm going to put it on one weak colony as well, because I want to get them the nutrient and the feed, even though they have honey in there, something they can consume immediately and get in their guts and get to cleaning them out and get to helping them grow up. So that's why I'm putting it on. Will they consume a lot of it if they have honey? I don't know. But the thing with us down here is they won't stay in a cluster while it's cold, while it's winter, because we'll have cold nights, and then they'll break cluster when it warms up to like today, like in the 50s and 60s. So, and they'll fly. So anyway, that's kind of the whole thing. It's not an emergency feed at this point, and if it was, I'm happy to have fondant now for emergency feed. But again, you know me, I'm not telling you how to, just telling you what I do and how I do. And this is how I do. I believe in having them heavy going into winter, not having to worry about emergency feed. And if I do, I now have fondant. So to see how quickly this is put on, all we need is our patties, a feeding shim, and I prep the packages by having them opened up already. Opening them up as simple as cutting them out. First learned this from Beekeeping with Natalie last year. I'd bought it, and then she did the video on how to use it, so it worked out really well. Anyway, here's what we got. So get the packages cut open. This is a square, and I'll show you with one that, if it tells me to cut the label out, there you go, I cut the label out. And just cut a hole in it. For the nukes, I take and cut a hole and then cut it in half. We use half a patty. And it's as simple as that. And we go in the bees and we hope they're not mean. So let's see just how quickly you can administer this feed. So we'll do a quick stopwatch. Ready? All right. We're going to use a lot of smoke because I don't know how ornery they are. Basically, collie usually isn't too bad, but it's just been nasty weather. Look at the hive beetles, ugly hive beetles. Ooh. Take this, lay it on top. Squish the hive beetles, and we put the lid back on. Now, I'm not gonna put it back on because I'm gonna kill hive beetles, but it took us right at a minute. All right, let me kill hive beetles. Now, folks, there's a decent cluster in there covering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 6 frames. But the hive beetles are a little disconcerting to see that many. That's a little worrisome. I'm gonna have to watch this colony. There's 5 good frames of bees. It was treated and doing well going into the winter, so I'm gonna keep our eye on them. So with the patty prepped, a shim standing by, a minute, and I've got this thing fed and ready to go. A little concerned with that colony. 5 frames of bees. To see that many beetles in there tells me that the beetles know they're weak. Beetles are opportunists. They don't kill a hive. They take the hive over after it weakens down to a point where they can't defend it. A lot of people say the beetles kill their hives. They don't. They finish them off. They finish off the stores. They overrun it. They don't kill them. They make them abscond. They push them out. They do something, but they don't kill them. They just overrun it. And I'm gonna have to check this one in the next warm spell we get. We're getting to the point where it's almost time to go in them anyway. So another month and we'll be digging in colonies. Same thing here, folks. Let's see how ornery they are. This is a weak colony. This has about 6 to 8 frames at one point. This is the one we checked on. No beetles there. Now I do know that the majority of these bees are off to the left. So we'll put it more toward there. We'll come back another day and see how they're doing. Let's do the nuke over here. Just kind of here, you can just take this. Quite a few bees in here. And push them way on down in there. Hi, beetle. Lots of hive beetles, guys. Bees are defending themselves off these hive beetles. For this one, we just do a half. Do not like those hive beetles. Thing is, down here, there's just a problem year round. I don't like seeing those hive beetles, but what you gonna do? Colonies are obviously weakening down as they come through the winter, but then they build back up here in January. As I've heard it said from many people about the winter solstice, and the bees pick up and they sense the days getting longer and all that. And I don't know, I've never really read any research on that, but I hear a lot of people say it, and it sure seems to be true, because it just seems like the bees really pick up activity in January when there's warm days down here. They really get moving and flying. Way more activity on the fronts. So the other day when I walked through here, everybody had a lot of bees coming and going. So I'm not sure about these ones that look weak, but that's why I'm putting this nutrient on them. See if we can get something in them and let them continue to brood up slowly. There's already brood in them. It's just a matter of how much gets chilled when it cools down, how much emerges and builds up as we go. So who knows, we'll know in another, probably 3 or 4 weeks. We'll be opening these things all up, taking a look. And February, I do always get nervous, because I go in, I go, oh my gosh, they look awful. Oh my gosh, they look awful. But then by March, they're building back up. So hopefully we don't lose any. Hopefully they don't weaken up and get a bunch of beetles like this one already has. That's really got me concerned. But I'll check it. I'll check it in a week, see what they're doing. Got a lot of propolis. Let's see what beetles come out of it. I don't have as many beetles. No, I don't see any beetles on this one. All those bees, man, I smoke them down. So there's actually bees in here, I promise you, but they're coming back up now. But let's give them a little bit of food. I probably should have gave this one the bigger one. I thought, but this one's so heavy. And again, I just want this for nutrient. Man, it's got a lot of honey in it. Here they come. Now you can see them. That smoke really runs them down. It's dark too. Man, it's dark. Put that back on. Put a couple bricks on. That's it. Well, folks, that's all I really wanted to do. I want to try out the new camera, honestly. I got some more attachments for it I want to get, and I just noticed, and I just switched it, and we'll see how the view works out. I still had it on narrow view, so the footage might be awful. because I had a narrow view for the live stream the other night, and so it's I always forget to set them back. But anyway, this had a low light setting, so I want to try it out with the low light. We got clouds and overcast. It's cool, about 55. It's dropping. Going to be cooler tonight. We're going to get into the freezing temps finally again. But I wanted to go in. Very concerned about that one with that many beetles. I saw beetles in every single one. And what's concerning about that one is how many I saw in that single. My whole goal today was just to put some fondant on the 2 nukes, because one nuke was actually lightening up. That one was very heavy, but I still wanted to put it on there so I don't have to, it's no fuss, no muss, I don't have to worry about it. And I wanted to put one on a single, and then I said, well, I had actually grabbed another patty, so I said, well, I'll put it on one of the weak ones. Everybody's alive, but that single was very concerning to me. That many beetles, and that was a very strong single, so they might have succumbed to some sickness already. They were treated with hop guard. And did I do a mite count on that one? I think I did. Dove. And I thought we had the mites under control, but maybe we didn't. But they're down to about 5 frames, and that was a good strong single. We had to feed that one, if you recall. So, and then the other one that was weak, I wanted to put that on. That's the one you and I went into, Hive 13, that we checked and thought maybe it was being run out by beetles. It wasn't. It's got bees in it. It was fine, and she was laying, so gave them something. And then here in a couple weeks, I'm gonna go through and put patties on, fondant patties with this seaweed stuff and all that in it, the thymol. I'm gonna put that on some of these weaker ones, and I'm gonna cut some more shims, and I'll show you that in another video as well. So we'll go back in and keep an eye on that one. I'm concerned about it. The rest, they were okay. It's hard for you to tell because I blew a lot of smoke in. I didn't know how they were gonna act, so they pushed them really far down into the box, and they would ease back up. But very quick, very easy. I love this fondant. I really do. I'm so glad we can get this in the US now. Hive Alive, they're the only ones selling it right now. I've heard about Baker's fondant, but I've heard both sides of the story. Some say it's okay to use Baker's fondant that you can buy here. Some say it's not because it may have those contaminants in it. I can't remember what that byproduct is when you burn the sugar or get it too hot, but HFM or something, I think. But that's the stuff that you don't want. So I'm choosing the safe way, stuff that's made for the bees. I like it. Check Hive Live out. I know John at Hillco sells it. You can get it from him as well, and he'll be happy to ship you some. So I'm going to use it. I got a few cases, and we're going to get them fixed on up. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it didn't bore you too much, because there's just not much going on, and I probably drug it out with my big mouth talking. But anyway, I appreciate all you guys watching, and I thank you for all the subscriptions. We're getting close to 10K, and so I'm very grateful to all you guys for that. So I really appreciate it. So anyway, guys, it's Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Today we did fondant. Hey, y'all have a great weekend, and may God bless you. We'll see y'all later.